The Sony portable stereo tape recorder TC510-2 came out in 1976. Sony called it its ultimate portable stereo tape recorder, ideal for field, interview, and movie applications. In their brochure, Sony says, "A new Sony for quality outdoor recording that's almost like having a portable professional studio. It works like a professional open-reel stereo tape deck featuring half-track 2-channel, record playback, 3-head tape source monitoring, and other attractive features. It has a DC servo-controlled direct capstan drive motor. That motor also drives a belt with fast forward and through pulleys in rewind. It's a 3-head machine. This unit may have been released to be a competitor with Nagra. However, Nagra, of course, came out in 1951. This came out in 1976. For some perspective, the Sony TC765 also came out in 1976. If you were to compare this with Nagra at the same time, they, of course, had released their Model E, which was a very sophisticated on-location recorder. So I'll give you a demo of this unit, and quite happy with how it's responding. You'll be listening to a recording from the Rolling Stone when they released an issue on the Eagles. I thought it'd be a little bit more interesting. There are several ways that the Sony TC510-2 can be powered. It has a place for 8 1.5 volt batteries, bringing up to 12 volts. This has a 12 volt converter, so you would just plug it in and the unit would plug into the wall. The batteries have a cover to keep the batteries in place, and the battery just slides in, locks, and it's good to go. You also have a DC in 12 volt plug. Next to that, there are 2 line outs, left and right, and line in, left and right. You have a low filter on the microphones. The microphone plugs are recessed. They're also set up so that the mic plug would not become loose. On the right-hand side is the monitor controls. You have mode, which lets you select that you want to either listen to the right channel or the left channel. And you have the ability to turn the speaker on or off. And then you have a headphone jack, and it has a volume control on it. That volume control also controls the speaker. On the left, you have a microphone attenuator. You have a line and mic switch. You can turn on a limiter to keep the volumes within reason. And then you have a tape and source monitor for the tape. To the right of that is a tape counter with a push button, return to 0, and a large yellow pause button. At the bottom, you have the record levels, which are concentric so that you can record either left and right channels. You have a memory light, which allows you to turn on the light for the meters. It stays on briefly and then goes out so you can check signal. And then the bottom one is a push button to check the battery. So you push the button and you'll see on the right there's a green area that shows the level of the battery. On the far right are controls for operating the machine. At the very top of the machine there is 2 record buttons, and once those are depressed and they will stay on, then you can put the selector on to record. Otherwise, you can put it down to play, and the center is off. On the far right is the rewind and fast forward button. It's a unique system where you push the button up to have rewind, and then you have to pull the button out and push it down in order to get fast forward. So we'll just demonstrate this in our Sony section. I think the unit's beautifully designed again. So play is simply down. Fast forward is pull out and down. And rewind is push up. straight up. It's a little bit cold this morning. Alright. So to record, you put the unit into record. You could actually put it in pause, move it up to the record setting, and you're ready to go. I don't have any input on this right now, but at least it would show. And so you release that and you're good to go. And as you're doing recordings, you can monitor through the meters. The unit runs really silently. I'm going to take those off record and go into rewind. To demo the Sony TC510-2, I'm going to use a Rolling Stone tape that we have that was a promotion for the Eagles when they released an issue in the Rolling Stone about the Eagles. And I think it's an interesting way just to provide a demonstration. So I'll put it on play.
The Eagles sing about breezy California country fried freedom, about reckless on-the-road romances, a speedy, crazy rock and roll life in a city that isn't really a city. The Eagles are 5 migrants to Hollywood, sons of the Byrds, the Springfield, the Burrito Brothers, and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. In 3 short but well-planned years, the Eagles have made it. They call their story in the current Rolling Stone magazine, The Hardening of the Artist Street. But for now, they can take it easy.
Go back a little bit. Pull out, go forward.
So-called our punky James Dean image. They were the ones who, along with Jackson Browne and J.D. Souther, came up with the outlaw Desperado theme for their second album. Brian Henley usually provide the writer quotes for press interviews, and talking with writer Cameron Crowe, they obviously enjoyed their own wit. They were working feverishly on songs for the latest album, One of These Nights, and Glenn was comparing their rush pace with schoolwork.
Last minute. cramming for finals. So I went through school. Right, except this is the big final now. This is the big one. The big school. The University of...
This is a battery check.
But the hard work and the image, even though they're among the reasons for the band's success, aren't agreeable to all the Eagles. Crow reports Brian Henley lived rock and roll 24 hours a day, and getting satisfaction out of it.
Got separate volume controls for each channel when you're recording.
From the Flying Burrito Brothers was originally the Eagles' spokesman, the seasoned one, but now he stepped back. In an almost complaining tone, he told Crow that the Eagles are so painstaking now that each album takes more time and money. The first one, he said, took just 3 weeks. The latest took almost 11. It takes more time and effort every year, he said, to forget the whole trip of touring and recording and get loose enough so that the creative juices flow naturally. And Don Felder, the newest member, is also not a 24-hour-a-day Eagle. In fact, he plans to move out of L.A. with his family and head north. The differences in pace, along with some disputes in the studios over the relative quality of songs written by various Eagles, add up to creative tension, according to Glenn Frey.
It's like the Oakland A's, right? It's like on the field, they're the greatest baseball
Great recorder
in the world, you know, but in the club...